coming to Via Studios' 3rd anniversary. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your Sunday to join us. I'm really nervous and also excited for this talk. Before we start, my intention for this panel is just to share the amazingness of these 3 women, because I've met them, I think between 5 to 6 years throughout my journey, and they've helped me in one deep way or another. So I just kind of want to take this opportunity and this platform to share what they do, because it's freaking amazing what they do. It's kind of like when you try something really, really good and you kind of want to like share it with everybody. You kind of want to like scream it at the top of your lungs on the top of a roof, like, try, this is so good, try it. So this is my roof and this is me screaming. So that's the general intention of this panel, and I hope you guys can take away practical tools and inspiration from our conversation. All right, shall we start, because we have a lot to get into. All right. So before we start on the questions, I'd like you guys to introduce yourselves, your name, what you do, what you offer, and a little fun fact about yourself. I can start. My name is Valerie. I'm the founder of Via Studios. I'm a dancer, choreographer, and a teacher. The fun fact about me is that I've been on a couple panels, but this is my first time moderating one. So bear with me. Please forgive me if I make mistakes or stutter, but that is how it's gonna be. All right.
So my name is Sonia Samtani. I am the CEO of a wellness center called All About You in Sheungwan. Clinically, I'm a trained hypnotherapist and hypnotherapy trainer. And we offer private sessions, workshop, and training, and we work with helping people understand their mind, building emotional resilience, emotional maturity, and moving through coping mechanisms and regulating people's nervous systems. So a fun fact about me, I guess something surprising that people may not associate with me is I'm really good at shooting, like with a pistol. Yeah. Like yes. And the last time I went, I got all bullseyes.
Wow.
And I'm known to be into mindfulness and therapy and everything else. So I guess that would be a nice fun fact. Unexpected.
Don't mess with Sonia.
I know, exactly. Don't mess with me.
Boundary.
Hi, I'm Casey, and my role is, I'll call myself an emotional alchemy guide and space holder. So I host circles, I also do one-on-one, and my greatest passion is diving deep into emotional topics with people and really helping them clear what I call emotional residues, so that they can kind of just very easily, without force, step into their next chapter. It's kind of like an emotional and energetic upgrade that I help them with. And my fun fact is, I totally blanked on this, but
anything.
I'll offer 2 then, just from my conversation with Cindy, because I realized not a lot of people, not even Val, know that I'm actually from Singapore.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Because I don't have the accent. I guess I can try, but I would sound more like Thai, I feel. Because I've never grown up there, so it's just be like, hi, my name is Casey, and
it does sound more Thai.
I know. Okay, that's my fun fact. I'm actually really from Singapore. I have a passport and all.
Hi, I'm Cindy Rengan. I'm the founder of Cindy Dance Academy. I offer RAD ballet, jazz, hip hop, and tap. So, fun fact about me. I was a flight attendant before.
Yes, you
Do
were.
I look like one?
Yes.
And yeah, coffee to you, me. Yeah, short and sweet. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Tell us a bit about your journey. What inspired you to become who you are and what you do today? Anyone can go first.
Okay, I'll go. What inspired me to be who I am today is when I was in university many years ago, I actually had a very different life, which maybe a lot of people can relate to, you know, the partying, the drinking, and the never sleeping, and just very wild life. And then one year, my health just collapsed because I had precancer cells grow in me, and it was growing quite rapidly. And so nothing was really working, and I had to switch up my life, and at the time just lost a lot of friends too, because it's like when there are those kind of friends that once you stop drinking and doing the crazy stuff with them, then they're just kind of like, oh, you're not fun anymore. So just, it was a very big year for me where I had to kind of change up who I am, and I was just going through a very depressing state, because it's one of those things where the emotion and the body so correlated. It's like the more you worry, the less your body is working toward improvement. And then it was just out of synchronicity that I was having lunch alone, just sob story, oh my life, poor me, and then one girl that I didn't know just asked me, have you heard of Class Pass? And I was like, I don't know, what is Class Pass? And she's like, yoga, they do yoga and stuff. And then I just randomly signed up for a 6 a.m. yoga the next day. And then after that yoga class, I remember just feeling so light, it was a meditation for me. The only hour, the whole year, where I didn't think about my health, I wasn't worrying. And then I remember that week I went for my checkup, and my cells were returning to normal. And I was like, what is this? And then so I slowly started going into yoga, and then it's kind of spiritual Disneyland for me. I was sound healing, past life regression. I was like, yes.
All the things.
Yeah. And then it was just after a while, my body just went completely back to normal. And that was when I realized, okay, there's something between emotions and body, and something that we've not been taught. So I just kind of dedicated my path into that, and one thing led to another.
Beautiful. That kind of leads into Sonia's work.
Yes, very much. And I was talking to your sister earlier, saying that whenever we do work like this in health and wellness, or something that we love and enjoy, then every client is for us. And the why we got into this is also because of us. So we are the first and most ongoing client. And for me, I'm a very curious person, and I still am. That's why in most of my workshops, I love explaining things. Why I got into my work was I kept asking why. Why? Why do I feel different from other people? And this started for me when I was 16 years old. And my why was, why am I less confident than others? Why do I get more nervous than other people at that time? And through a series of events, both at school and at home, I didn't know this at the time, but my coping mechanism to life was to be invisible. If I'm just out the way, and if I'm in the background, and if I'm invisible, then everything is going to be okay. And then my confidence was down, and then I was wondering the whys. And so I thought, okay, let me lose weight, let me do something different on the outside, and then I'll be confident. It helped a little bit. And then I was still so reliant on receiving the feedback from the outside. And then I went into a journey on understanding that this is about beliefs. This is something deeper. It is subconscious. And that took me into working for Tony Robbins, learning NLP, learning hypnotherapy, and then eventually doing what I do and working thoroughly with subconscious beliefs.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Deep work.
Yeah.
And Cindy?
I started dancing at 5 years old in Malaysia, in a very small town. I remember my dad used to, take me on a bicycle, take me to ballet class and things like that. So even during rainy days, some kids, they go to ballet class, the parents drive them. So it was only my dad who, ride a bicycle, send me to school. And, I have that discipline since young. That's what I want to do. I turn my passion into my job. So dance is always what I want to do. And I got I work in the bank, and I was a flight attendant as well. So I got a job with Jin and Wong School of Ballet. So I worked for Jin Wong for 7 years. And then I decided to have my own school in 2006. And it went through a restructuring in 2015. So here I am, Sonia Dance Academy. This is my 11th year here. Well, 27th year in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Fun
and
fact.
she's my student.
Yeah. Since how old were you when you were Cindy's student? 15.
Younger.
Even younger. We had a girl. I'm sorry. My bad.
Emily too.
Emily as well. How 3?
She was 6, 5. Yeah, 5 years old. Yeah, 5.
There was another girl earlier. The ballet class was 3 years old.
2 of them, yeah.
3 years old when
Yeah.
she taught.
Wow.
Took Cindy's class.
And they follow you from 3 to now, to adulthood?
No, they came back. They saw me in IG. Yeah. Instagram, yeah.
You know, so many messages and DMs that I get. It's like, oh my God, Miss Cindy, I used to take her class when I was a baby. I was like, so many.
I feel so old.
Miss Cindy is actually low-key famous. All right, moving on. A common link between you is that you all work with clients, be it teaching therapy sessions or guiding people through their healing journeys. Starting with Sonia and Casey, what are the most common issues people come to you for?
You want to start or?
You can go.
Yeah.
I'll sip this delicious drink.
Sure. Last year, a lot of it was anxiety to do with loss. So anxiety is common, especially in Hong Kong, and anxiety then has different symptoms. One of the big ones is sleep. And so that finally brings, because whenever it gets too debilitating to function day to day, then people are looking for what's there to do. And now hypnotherapy is a go-to place. Initially, it was like the last resort. So I'm going to try everything else. And when nothing works, okay, let me just try this thing called hypnotherapy, even though it sounds scary. So anxiety, sleep, loss to do with finances, loss to do with the way that life used to be, because we're still in the repercussions of post-COVID life and whatever that is like, loss to do with relationships. So a lot of people that are going through transition, loss, anxiety.
What is anxiety?
Anxiety, if I break it down in a formula, okay, anxiety is when you think about the future, imagine your worst case scenario and act as if it's happening now. That will produce anxiety. It's a fear of the future that you don't want. And then that neural pathway has already gone there and your body is acting as if it's happening at this moment. And the belief is, I can't handle it. Because if you believe you could handle it, then you don't need to be anxious.
So you're imagining a future scenario that hasn't happened yet and you're living it.
You're living, the worst case scenario and believing I can't handle it. So the body is now responding to I can't handle it. This might happen, I can't handle it. So I might freeze when I speak in public. I'm going to freeze in that moment in my mind, oh, I can't handle it. You know, I may lose my job and then what? So we're not actually going to a point where I could handle it. We're freezing in the moment where I can't handle it.
How do you offer a remedy for people who suffer from anxiety?
Well, firstly, it's not to say don't think about what you don't want, because it's too late, right? They've already thought about it. So if we say, well, don't think of losing your job, well, I already did. So why don't we finish the thought then? That's the first remedy. So finish the worst case scenario thought. You thought that you couldn't handle it if you froze in public. You thought you couldn't handle it if you got a divorce. Now let's go a month later, 6 months later, a year later, 3 years later, 10 years later. Then what happens? Yes, it may not be the best thing, but you have lived, therefore you have handled it. So at least what we're doing is unfreezing consciousness from that moment. And we're getting it to move, because energy needs to move. That's what healing is about. So that's the first thing that I will offer them, to understand their worst moment and move from it and get that they can handle it. And then address the belief. 2 beliefs. One is I can't handle it. That's a debilitating belief around their own capability, and that will come from I'm not enough, and that will come from a deeper issue about something else. So I will unravel that and I will work to handle it that. And then whatever the anxiety is about. So it could be about the relationship, it could be about the money, and we are associating that to self-worth. So then I work to dissociate that from their self-worth, so that ultimately self-worth raises and we believe we can handle what comes our way. It sounds simple, but it takes work.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What about Casey?
Oh, that was so good. I was just like, yes, tell me more. And I also realized there were so many like common points, but so most people come to me, it's just like Sonia said, it's a variety of things. It could be relationship, money, but when I distill it, usually it's some sort of, they don't realize it yet, but they are growing into the next chapter of themselves. But there's some sort of fear that is kind of clinging them onto their old identity. And the not letting go is creating a stuckness. And there's like, when they don't address that emotional kind of point, the gap becomes bigger and bigger. It's like, I really don't want to be who I was, and I really want to be who I will be, but I'm not there yet, and I don't know how to address it. So I kind of see it like they're being pulled like both ways. So as simple as recently this year, 2025, a lot of people would come because of their job and dissatisfaction. It's like, I know I really hate this job, and they'll go on and on and on about it, but it's like underlying the note is saying, but there's just so much fear. I don't trust that I can handle this new me. And so when they come to me, it's usually that I'm outgrowing who I was. I'm not yet who I will be. And what I'm hearing them saying is, can you help me break free from this old identity so I can courageously step into this next chapter?
And how do you help?
Which is what I love. It's emotional alchemy. That's what I brand myself as, the emotional alchemy guide.
What is alchemy?
I was thinking the same thing.
It's just the art of transformation. And if you, even if you Google alchemy, you'll see a lot of like turning
into gold,
right? And so in emotional alchemy, how I say it, I know someone else might say it differently, it's how I help people transform the lower frequency emotion into their higher frequency.
Beautiful.
I'll give you an example is if people come to me with anger is such a negative thing. But if you really look at it, anger speaks to where you allow people to cross your boundary. And you're like, And if people come to me with like jealousy, it's like, and also a lot of time these negative emotions, people hold a lot of shame because it's like, what does that mean I am? Like, for example, if I'm jealous that my best friend got a promotion, but I love her, but I'm jealous. Then the higher octave of jealousy is like, there's something that inspires you in her promotion. Can we lean into that? So I love guiding people into turning those emotions that they feel like stuckness into the higher octave, and then we keep working toward that.
Beautiful. Little kind of preview, we will experience what Casey does a little later, so brace yourselves, it's gonna be magical. Before we go into that, I'm gonna dive into some stats. I'd like to address a topic which is very prevalent, very common with most people that are alive now, is stress. And especially in a city like Hong Kong, we actually are not the top 3 places in the world that has the highest amount of stress, but I think we're top 10. So it's just some stats, just so we have an idea of actually how stressed we are as a city, as a population. A 2023/24 study found 21.9% of the Hong Kong population reporting stress symptoms, with work-related stress being particularly high, over 60%, exceeding global averages. Around 97% experience burnout, 39% feeling more drained, 20% feeling helpless. 84% of working people say work stress disrupts daily life, causing sleep issues, decreased motivation, and physical symptoms. I feel like we can all resonate with that here in this room. Before we move on to Cindy's specialty, I'd like to stay on with Casey and Sonia about what's your take on stress, and what do you think needs to change for these stats to move?
It's a response based on our perceptive filter of whatever is happening. And similar to what Casey said, it's your frame of reference. So if our frame of reference is that I'm not enough, something is not enough, or ultimately it's not the way that it's supposed to be, right? I'm supposed to have been further in my career. I'm supposed to have this much money by now. I'm not there. So we look at the gap, it produces that stress, and that leads to helplessness. And then we have coping mechanisms like hard work that leads to burnout. And so you have all of these other things, and that was a pretty crazy high percentage, especially of the burnout. Yeah. And
97.
I heard that that's the number one reason that people are going to resorts in Thailand, Bali. I mean, they're making a lot of money from burnout.
Yes.
I mean, the wellness industry. I know, actually.
The wellness industry right now it's their market. It's targeting people who are stressed AF and burnt out.
Yeah, stress with the same response. I'm going to overwork myself to prove, right? But they don't even really know to prove what.
Exactly.
And that self-journey and self-discovery, what am I doing this for? Why am I proving? What am I proving? That can be quite enlightening. And that can shift the stress response. But education is needed, because this word stress is all so pervasive, and we just use it to describe an uncomfortable feeling. But what is that uncomfortable feeling? It's that I feel like I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm not enough. Yeah, and sometimes people use it, whether it's anxiety or depression, because it's I'm not there yet. I'm not satisfied. I'm not comfortable.
But the other thing is like, where does that I'm not there yet come from? Is it society? Is it like conditioning? Is it where does it come from? What kind of drives the need to perform and need to want more?
Well, I don't think we didn't come out of our mother's womb, right, with this. We came out actually with pure potential and just really happy, and we could cry at the top of our lungs and think I deserve milk. Right? I deserve to shout and get my food. But then we get exposed to rules of who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do. And we get exposed to this, and all of these rules are basically set in our mind by the time we're 7 years old. So I would say the environment has a huge part to play. And the rules we absorb from the environment, and then we make our own conclusions. But our conclusions are influenced by the environment. So then as we're an adult, yes, it's our own conclusions. But where did they come from? So it is conditioning to a very large degree, I would say. Yeah. What about you?
I would say to that second question, physically on a primal level, I think it comes from that primal desire to be accepted. Because as we all know, we're tribal, we live in community. And there is a sense of, if you look at conditioning, it is all coming back to so you will be accepted. You need to work this job, fulfill your duty as a daughter and this and that, so you will be accepted, so you won't be outcast. And I think on a spiritual level, it is the desire to be loved. So you will be loved, so you'll be accepted. Two different things, but kind of similar. And I think we just need to, like what Sonia said, a big part of her work is also detaching people from what this means. And to that first part of stress, my answer is, I think it could go so broad, and I won't go into the psychology level of things because I'm not trained there. But in my space, as I'm holding emotional alchemy spaces, one way we can help people move stress a bit more, I feel, is to, again, back to the first part of what Sonia said, help people complete the cycle. Meaning, I think a lot of stress comes from, we feel something, there's a stuck point there, but we don't know or we don't dare to complete the cycle. For example, there's a truth that we need to admit, but we don't want to admit because we don't know what that means to us. That stress lives at the tip of our tongue. It goes back to the bottom of our heart. And so a big part of how you can move that stress is to help people find the courage to even name the feeling, to be honest with your feeling. I'm angry, and that doesn't make me an angry person. I'm experiencing anger. And then the second part would be teach them the tool. How do I move this out of my body? Because energy needs to move, emotion needs to move. And once that's complete, stress just naturally melts away. Just think about how many people, they live in a lot of stress because their whole life they felt like they need to carry the burden of someone that they're not. But imagine if one day they understand, identity is not who I really am, and I can let go of it, and I can feel the fear of being outcast, the fear of not being loved, and I just let myself cry. I'm so angry, I let myself scream. At the end of it, I don't think that will be a stressed man anymore.
Yeah. I would love to live in that.
It takes something to do that.
It does.
Really sitting with yourself.
Yes, and I really think it's so simple. It comes as simple but not easy, two-part. One is the courage to be honest.
Sure. Yeah.
And the second is, okay, now that I admit I have this, I'm this, how do I move it? That's kind of all, but of course it takes skills.
It always comes out. We say it's easy to say, but it takes something to do. So we've talked about adult stress, adult stats, and now we're going to move into youth stats. Before we do that, hang on, let me get to Cindy's question. Okay. Cindy, hi.
Miss Cindy.
Miss Cindy.
Show me your feet for your toes.
All right. In your many years of working with kids and parents, you've watched so many kids grow up, some of which are here today. Are there any patterns in the kids that you've spotted throughout the years that you feel that you want to address And yeah, let's start there.
Well, if you want to compare back then, when I was teaching Kathy and Emily, not many. That was how many years ago? Like 20 years ago? So a few years back, yes, I've seen a few. I should say, yes, stress, bullying, school bullying, stealing, self-harm. These are the things that I have experienced with a preteen, I should say.
Preteen is
13 onwards,
13
12, yeah, 12, 13, that's the age. It's not easy. It's not easy because, the children, when they come to ballet school, it's a safe environment for them. It's a second home for them. So basically, I'm the second mom, so I'm involved. When they are there, I'm involved, yeah? So, yeah, safety, well-being, it's very important for me. So when I experience, of course, we have a flow chart, like a safeguarding children. We have a flow chart, like when you identify an incident, whether if it's serious or not. So I have to assess whether, should I make a phone call? I have to find, do I have to seek any help? The first thing, of course, you need to talk to the child in a safe place. And then, you call parents. And, well, I'm trying to just overall saying about the ones that is a bit more challenging than I experienced.
What are the more challenging experiences?
Yeah, well.
This is a safe space, and I feel like it'll be helpful to be very honest in our conversation.
I think most of the teens, of course, involve social media, home as well. Because children are very simple. They just want to be loved. And, they want to be heard. The communication at home is very important. I said, for example, if, parents are very busy, kids goes to school, they come back home, mom is not there. So they end up going towards watch IG, things like that. So they get the attention there. So
through Instagram, social media. And then, how does that impact their behavior in your classroom?
You can see the difference. Like, for example, this particular child, when most of them, they start ballet at 2.5 years old. So by the time they're with me, so I know her character, her behavior. So when she comes to ballet class, you can see that it changes. Sometimes, I give you an example. Oh, why is she wearing so much clothes? What are you covering? Right? So this kind of things that you can see. So of course I know with gut feeling what is that. So we monitor on a weekly basis. So that's when I notice that I have to talk to that particular student. So I take her to a quiet space. So try to ask her if she's okay. So basically I let her talk. Like, a non-judgmental, space for her. So it's the trust that, for a child, for them to discuss with you is not easy, So I give her space. So the trust is very important because it's not easy for them to talk to me. Yeah. So I think the relationship, the bonding that I have with that particular student or some other kids that, stay back and talk to me, they find that they can talk to me more because I see them every week than they, talk to the parents. I feel sad for this, but yeah, that's what happened. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, parents, please, pay more attention to your child at home.
What do you think needs to happen at home?
Communication. Communication, yeah, that's very important. And they just want to be loved, to be heard.
And the safe space that you were providing, that's so important.
Yeah.
And powerful.
Yeah. So I would say it's communication. Just during dinner time, just put down your phone. For that 15 minutes, please, just family time. I think that's the best.
Do you ever get kids who come in and just throw a tantrum and act out and just because they feel safe in your space and then that's where they release?
Yeah. I do.
What does that look like?
I was shocked at first. I was like, are you okay? So I said, it's okay, just let her be. You know, she feels safe.
What do
and
they do? Do they yell? Do they scream?
They cry.
They cry.
They cry. They cry. They cry really bad, and then they hide themselves in the changing room back then in the studio. And I just let them be on their own for a bit, you know, and then I just go in and talk to them. Yeah.
Is it common?
Not common, I would say. Not common. It just, you know, depends on the family background. Some are broken family, you know. Parents are busy, you know. So not many. I wish to say like just a number. Yeah, not all.
When you experience these situations in the classroom, and then they're at your studio and they're crying and talking to you, do you have conversations with their parents after, or?
Yes, I do. I have to follow up. You know, I have to make sure that the parents seek therapy too. I think
The parents seek therapy.
That's important because I'm looking at different cases, because it has to be, it takes two to tango.
Right.
You know, the child, you know, there must be a reason why. So I think the whole family has to go for therapy. Am I right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. On that note, I'd like to share youth stats. And this is very sad for me to have discovered. Youth stress. A large majority, 60 to 90% of young people experience stress from various sources, with the DSE exam being a major pressure point for students. And then there's another study. The research analyzed 4 different generational groups. The generational groups are baby boomers, Gen X, Y, and Z. Among them, 22.8%, 30.5%, 22.3% of Gen Z young people, so the younger degree of Gen Z, reported symptoms of stress, anxiety, and depression, respectively. The rates of anxiety and depression symptoms among Gen Z are significantly higher than those of other age groups, and their scores on emotional regulation and positive life outlook are also lower than those of other generations. I feel like I have an inkling of why that is: social media, society, but I'd like to hear your takes on this.
And the last part was they have a lower.
They have
It was very interesting.
their scores on emotional regulation and positive life outlook are also lower, the lowest of all other generations.
Yes, and they would probably be the ones that were born into Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, they were born into that, and so every aspect of their life, right from age 0, without their permission, mostly has been out there. Right, and these things can have a big impact too. So it's like now their baby pictures and their cutesy pictures and all of that is out, and their public face was formed very, very early. I'm not sure where or what their safe space would look like. And as we can hear from what Cindy was sharing, having a safe space is so important. Having that space of no judgment where I can accept myself. So levels of acceptance, rules of acceptance. And now, at least more recently, we are understanding what no filter pictures look like. We're understanding what realism looks like. But when Facebook and Instagram first came into play, it was all about what's not real. It was all about the filters and the perfection of it, and this is the way that we're supposed to be. And again, such a big gap between who I am, the way that I am, versus the way that I'm supposed to be. That's what I think would be a big contribution to their outlook. And then from that, depression and anxiety. So depression basically is loss, and it's spiraling into the sadness and the emptiness of what I don't have. And the anxiety is, can I do something about it? And will I reach there enough? And quite often we oscillate between both, but some people have more a primary one. It could be either depression or anxiety.
I feel like, Cindy, you might have experienced, and you've seen the change from the kids not being born into social media and the kids who are born in social media. I feel like the behavioral changes are quite significant,
Very,
right?
very, yeah. Like if you want to compare to, like I said, 20 years ago, no. Like now, it's more.
What's the biggest difference, you would say?
Biggest difference is, you know, attention seeking. That's
Attention
the main,
seeking.
Yeah, seeking, yeah. They want attention.
That makes sense because they're born into seeking attention.
It's not, yeah, exactly.
They're born into social media.
I want to have more likes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just thought it was interesting how society is becoming more and more paradoxical. It's like, you know, we're more attention seeking than ever, but at the same time not getting any attention from the ones that we actually want.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, and so on and so on. But yeah,
It's interesting
because
yeah.
even with just everything, the news and everything, everything's becoming very paradoxical.
What do you think, and anyone can answer this, needs to happen or change or, I don't know, for us to maybe go into a more like healthier path than we're going on right now, especially with the development of AI? Is there anything that you think should or would be beneficial to happen or change?
So I would kind of extend what Cindy said, communication, but like what kind of communication? With presence, with honesty, with a touch of acceptance, because even we can see how AI is being used, right? And we can see extreme cases of what's happened with AI. And at the same time, it can be used in such a helpful way. Like I know so many of my clients that in between therapy sessions, ask AI questions. And they can say, they can actually ask, what would Sonia say to this? And AI suggests some things I would really agree with.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. And what would, whoever else that you would want, what would Oprah say to it, right?
Interesting.
And they get all these different perspectives. And it's helpful to them. It's like, okay, what do I do now? I've got these symptoms and this is what I'm thinking to do. So I think we can educate people on how you can use it in a way that's complementary. And it cannot replace consciousness, like it cannot replace the presence that I'm giving you now or the touch I can give you. But it can be a really lovely aid to it, right? It doesn't have to be put down in any way. So with enough communication and honest communication and safe space, we can be educated on how we can introduce this and involve this in our day-to-day lives. And familial communication is, I think, paramount in that.
I would agree with that as well.
100%.
100%. Yeah.
In a way, I feel like just how the world has been developed it's kind of like pushing us to really look inward and rely more on our self-intuition. Because even before AI, we had, I hope this is not getting too political, we had the church, we had parents, we had teachers.
So we had community, physical community.
In a way, like we always had some sort of authority telling us this and that and this and that. And even like religion, if you look at cults, we have guru culture. It's like people have this tendency of whatever tool we have. Of course, tool is just neutral. Money is neutral. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad. But tools we have, when we lack self-trust and intuition and a practice to turn inward, we very naturally, it's very tempting to go outward. Let me ask my mom for what career path I should take. Let me ask my pastor for like how should I, like this and that, and let me ask AI what I should have for dinner. So I think just for my personal view, it's like with where society is going, the way is to come back inward, not to say this is bad, that is bad, but yeah, these are tools. Can you use them wisely? Not outsource your power, but to use those tools to amplify whatever you need.
Beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah, beautifully said. Time is running out. I feel like I could go, sit here forever.
I was like, I have more stats to quote.
I want to share so much. Okay, we have to move on. Okay, moving on. I want to dive into the wellness industry. So many buzzwords there. Okay, last stat.
The amount of time inner child has been used on the internet.
Okay. The global wellness industry has grown exponentially in the past few years, hitting a record of $6.8 trillion in 2024. It is projected to reach $9.8 trillion in 2029. More and more people are turning to therapy, and which, in my opinion, is amazing. However, with the increasing number of coaches, therapists out there, especially on social media, and now we have AI therapy, which Sonia touched on, therapy terms and theories and how-tos and what-to-dos on social media especially is now frequently being thrown around. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for people to navigate through all the information floating around the internet nowadays. So Sonia, what is your take on the industry now? And is there anything that you think needs to change?
I think it can develop. Yeah. I'm really happy to see as well that the industry has grown so much and that people are moving past old coping mechanisms, because issues are not old or new. Issues have been there throughout, right? So before it was the cigarette culture. That's how we used to deal with the issues and feel cool about it. And then we would binge eat and then we would do other things. And now we're seeking therapy and actually facing. And some people are seeking therapy for other reasons, but many people are seeking it to actually face. And the thing that I would love to see develop more is what that actually looks like. Because why are we doing it? Are we still doing it from a place of wanting to fix? And if we're doing it from that place, then that's not actually going to address the root, because it's going to perpetuate judgment. Judgment is the cause, and if you take it and you're judging yourself to fix it, that's not going to be helpful. So one is, why am I doing it? Am I doing it to heal, to evolve, or am I doing it to fix? And then secondly, it is not a quick fix. Agreement, perhaps. Yeah. And it starts at that age.
Sorry, we're almost there.
Yes, it will take something to pay attention. Yeah.
Is it hot? Do you want to turn on the AC?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So consistency. Consistency that it's not a one-session job. It's not a one-year job. And we are going to be looking at ourselves till our last breath. Right? And the evolution takes consistency, and I don't think that message has seeped in yet. Not that I'm in a hurry for it to seep in. I just would love to see it evolve as the way that it's evolving now, into understanding that too. That it's not you go to a couple of therapy sessions, or I finished my therapy, I'm done. You're not done with the gym. You're not done with dancing. You're not done with things. So that's the way that I'd like to see it develop.
Beautiful. Cindy, as you've mentioned before to me, that they have programs now instilled in schools that kind of guarantee the well-being of kids. There's, what is it called again? There's programs in the schools now that kind of like monitor bullying, and is there a wellness?
The well-being? That's my
well-being.
program.
No.
Which
in
one?
school, you said in schools they
have
have
a
a new
well-being
they have
program?
a new, yeah.
That's the one that we offer. Yeah.
What about in schools now?
In school, that's the one that we offer, like me.
Oh.
Yeah, not all the schools are doing it. But they do have well-being program. But it depends what it is. Like, I do offer well-being program with the English department. So we teach dance. Yeah, and at the same time, they have to learn English.
Oh, okay.
So that's different, yeah.
Interesting.
Different program, yeah.
I feel like well-being of the kids also now is quite like
Very
high
important, yeah.
high priority.
Yeah.
And some schools do personal development
Right?
as
Yeah.
a subject.
But that's a subject,
great.
yeah.
Oh, that's personal development as a subject.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What school?
Maybe the audience might know, yeah. Some do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But is that more on emotion or more on like career development? Like when you say
Emotions, from what I know. Yeah. I have a friend, I forget the name of the school, it's somewhere near Cyberport, and she does it as a subject and talks about emotions. Yeah.
That's a good subject to lead into my next question, because we have to move on. Having personally experienced the deep transformational work that Sonia offers, I'd like to take this opportunity to go back to the basics, the root, and your specialty. Sonia, what is an inner child? What is inner child healing, and why is it important?
Okay, inner child is a big part of what I do. So an inner child is basically a younger version of you that is stuck in an event or a story of the past and they haven't moved through it. So you have a child. All of us have inner children, right? The two biggest misconceptions with inner child is that one, a child is a child below the age of 18, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old. So an inner child is any moment younger than today. So if something happened this morning and we were upset and we suppressed our emotions and didn't move through it, that's an inner child. And the second is we don't only have one inner child, we can have millions, right? Millions and millions of inner children. The parts of us that were happy are our resources, and the parts of us that are stuck because dad left, they bought ice cream for my brother, not me. I was left alone, but I didn't realize actually that they were just around the corner and they were coming back in 5 minutes. So these are the different narratives, and those narratives produce conclusions like I'm abandoned, I'm not wanted, I'm not worthy, nobody loves me, nobody wants me. And then they have emotions like helplessness, sadness, and those emotions get stuck. That's a stuck inner child. And those are the basic reasons why our adult self can not function as an adult for a lot of the time. So we have logic, but we don't act according to our own logic, right? So we have the logic that public speaking is fine, and I can move past this loss, and it's not such a big deal, and I can get another job. But we can say all of this logically, but we're not feeling it emotionally. And we're not feeling it because those parts of us that made those conclusions of I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, are stuck inner children. Hope that was simple.
Yeah. I feel like it kind of also leads into what Casey does, also working with inner children, right?
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's the more common point would be that stuckness, and that's why Sonia also touched on this. I think a big part of our work is to help people not just understand it, but somatically on a body level, kind of move through those. Because you can keep telling yourself, I'm safe, but it doesn't work because the body remembers something else.
Right.
So I think for me, it's like teaching people you don't need to fight against yourself. Work with it. Surrender into the pain.
Surrender.
Which is the work itself, right? It's like you can't just tell people to relax in yoga. Guide them through it without them knowing even I need to relax into yoga. I think that's like a big part of my work.
We're a studio that mainly hosts dance and yoga classes. Cindy teaches a lot of her classes here as well. A very movement-oriented space. In your opinion, and all three of you can answer, how important is it to stay active and moving in life?
Extremely.
A plus, important.
I will let you answer.
It's very important. It's like movement is human, a fundamental of human language, basically.
Beautiful, fundamental human language. I love that.
That's the quote of this panel.
I know. Movement is the fundamental of human language. Love it.
So you know, basically on top of it's healthy, you know, good for your mind and body. And you build relationship. You have your own community, your social interaction, right? So it combats isolation, right? And releases stress, depression, and everything. It helps you. So I think everybody should dance, stay active. Dance, stay
Non-biased
active.
comment.
Dance, stay active, sports and everything.
Yeah,
it's
for
very
sure.
good for you. Yeah, movement is very good.
Not just physically, emotionally,
Everything.
mentally. Because if you don't move,
you
you're
feel
stuck.
inside out. You feel good inside out.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, that's like our life force energy, and like anything that's alive moves. So.
Let's talk about the brain/mind-body connection, since we're talking about physical movement. I'd like to quickly dive into a topic that I found fascinating when I took one of Sonia's workshops. Sonia again, sorry. What is body syndromes and how is it helpful?
So body syndromes is about the mind-body connection. And it's a topic that talks about where we store emotional toxicity in the body when we don't process our emotions. So whatever is not processed gets retained in the body. So whatever we don't process, we suppress. Whatever we suppress gets remembered, and the body keeps score of all of that. And body syndromes is a study of different parts of the body, mapping it back to the emotion that was stuck there. So let's say if you've got stomach pain, it could be around power and feeling powerless and feeling guilty. And if there's pain in the shoulder, it's about responsibility. And then there's a difference between the right side and the left side. Right? And the right side generally is the way that we relate to our environment or our quote unquote masculine part. And the left side is our relationship to ourselves or our feminine part. So pain around the right eye would be not being comfortable with what we are seeing on the outside or how we're being perceived. The left eye is our self-perception. And so whatever aches, pains, physical discomfort, skin issues we have can be mapped back to the emotion or the thought process that is stuck. Yeah, and again, it's not moved, it's not understood.
Interesting. Yeah. That's so helpful too. I feel like, see, so what if I have?
Bring it on.
I recently injured my right hamstring. So it's like this muscle on my right leg. What do you think that means?
We spoke about this, right? Yes. So right is about relationship with others, right? Leg generally is about not facing because it's running away from something.
Interesting.
Yeah? And then around this area is your attachment. So you're attached to something
that I'm running away from.
That you're not facing. You're not facing your attachment.
That's my right too.
I see that.
Yeah. Right? Ooh. Interesting. What about, so my brother from... last one. It's okay. My brother, from like when he was a really young age, had eczema. So I feel like a lot of people have eczema.
Yeah, especially babies. Yeah.
What's that?
So skin issues, especially eczema, is about separation. And that's why so many babies have it, because they're in the womb for 9 months and they come out and suddenly it's cold, it's loud, there's a different environment and they're separate from everything that they knew. On top of that, if they're in an incubator or whatever, they're even more separate, which is why now so many people are talking about as soon as you give birth, place baby straight on mom, because that is what baby knows. Right? And that is going to help the cells of the body feel like, hey, I've come out, I'm safe, I'm in the known environment. So a lot of separation anxiety and heartbreak and things around love and attachment show up in the skin.
Interesting.
And then where the eczema is can also be telling. It's elbow, yeah. Which side? Both. Yeah. So arms is basically the fight syndrome. Fight syndrome is not standing up for self. So it could be not feeling like I've separated from someone and I didn't say anything about it. I didn't stand up for myself about it. Okay. I didn't speak up about it. And now my body is carrying the impressions of that. Or whatever I did talk, if I'm like in a glass box and if I'm screaming and no one's hearing me, I feel as if like my voice has not been heard. I've not done anything about it.
Interesting. I'm going to cap this and send it to my brother. We have the footage.
See if it resonates.
That's
and it goes back to the time it started for him. Yeah, because these things can come and go. Right. So map it back to the time it started, and then every trigger, every flare up. Yeah.
I feel like this, and then how you would deal with it was to guide the client to face and release catharsis.
Yeah, so it's to understand what that is. So, okay, I feel abandoned, for example. That's about separation. So going back to the time that I did feel abandoned, and then that would be an inner child. And then beginning to give healing to that inner child, which happens through movement. And movement is catharsis, right? It's releasing emotional toxicity. It's restoring the emotions that I lost. It's restoring the parts of myself that I lost in that process. And then it's able to move forward so I'm not stuck in that story. So the story of it changes. And quite often you find that I wasn't abandoned. I thought I was abandoned, but actually my family was next door. right? So for the child does not know any better. And so it's the child's truth. But once you start healing, then even the truth changes and you live with that new truth.
Beautiful. On that note, catharsis. Casey, I feel like you already explained what emotional alchemy is, but what is somatic healing?
Somatic healing, for me, it's very similar to exactly what Sonia said, so I won't repeat too much, but I find that, whenever I speak to clients, the body remembers something that the brain doesn't necessarily remember the same way. And a lot of times, because for me, I combine also spiritual, like intuition, intuitive coaching. So I would guide them into a visualization journey, and their mind might remember one thing, but when they go into it, it's something that completely surprised them. It could be something completely unrelated. Like when I was 5, my grandpa brought me there and said that exact sentence that's impacted me my whole life. And so when I do somatic healing, then I also work a lot with my clients' intuition. So my favorite clients are the one that nothing I say surprised them because they intuitively know and they're so wise. And so when I guide them through somatic healing, it is step by step, just guiding them through a safe space so they can listen to the body's signal again. And then the body will tell you what you need to do. Oftentimes we're just getting in the way of that. It's the same thing with rest. It's the same thing as sleep. Your body knows how to rest. We're just getting in the way of that. So when we get out of the way, the body can do its own thing. Maybe it needs to shake. Maybe it needs to it could be very weird movement. The same thing over and over again for 15 minutes. And you will know when it's complete because there's like a cycle, a loop that's completed. And you no longer feel that charge that oftentimes to your brain is illogical and unreasonable. And that to me is somatic healing. It's getting out of the way of
A lot of people use breath work as a form of release and catharsis. But for you, for Casey, it's actually breath play. What's the difference?
So it's when I trained in it, it's actually called pyramid's breath. I just changed it to breath play, but the essence is the same. It's breath play, breath pray. Any of you have done breath work before? Yes. The type of breath work that you've done, not with me, but is it usually laying down and like a lot of, So nothing wrong with that. It's like a whole journey. It's very big. For me, because like breathing is a big part of every day anyway, so I don't think it's something that you need to go into like a 3-day retreat to do. It should be something that you can easily do every day. So my type of breath work, which is breath play, is just like seated upright, and it's very playful. You're playing with your own energy, and like what we said, anything that's alive move. So the whole time we're moving with our body, we're breathing, and it is a form for me to assist with emotional release because it's moving energy again so that whatever needs to be kind of stirred up and released, they can go. And a big part of breath play, playfulness, but also sensual embodiment. So we also slow down, we also use sound, we use voice. So it's a little bit different from traditional breath work. And I just changed it because it's like, healing shouldn't be so much work. So I was like, what do I call it? I was just, okay, breath play.
Shall we try it?
Okay.
So Casey, we've been sitting for a while. This is a good time to move a little. So Casey is gonna guide us through maybe like
Just like a
5-minute demo. And it'll be fun.
Okay, so it would just be like a 5-minute, very quick. But before that, I just want to quickly go through anyone pregnant. If you don't want to say publicly, just wink at me. Okay. Okay. So very quickly, usually it's a much longer process, but we'll go through like 2 parts breath. The first part is in and out through the mouth. So it'll look something like this. Okay. So you're moving the body the whole time. We've got some yogis in the room, so just intuitively let yourself move. And imagine you're drinking in air. Okay. Focusing on deep breath in and out. The second part is in through the nose, out through the mouth, similar, but just this time with a bit of sound. People are like, whoa, I came for the panel.
Surprise!
and the whole idea of breath play, again, it's playful, and a lot of times we just live in this box, right? Like you can't sigh, you can't say anything. So just take this 5 minutes as an opportunity to just be like a little bit out of the box. We are also going to add in elements like breath holds, which is through the mouth, inhale, arms up, hold, and then I'll tell you to exhale. And then at some point, I'll ask you to do a little bit more, like shaking your body a little, maybe voicing sounds a little like, okay, whatever you want. It'll be better with the music, trust me.
It may feel awkward, it may sound awkward, but that's part of it. And I feel like this is a very good opportunity to just let go. Like, fuck it. Like, just kind of dive into the experience and see what happens. If you've never experienced Casey's, it's magical, I promise.
Okay, so we will, I'm just looking at the time.
I can just have Karen press play.
Yeah, okay, any questions? No questions? Okay, I did not think this through when I chose this outfit. This is gonna be very fun. Okay, so we're just going to close down our eyes, make sure you're in a comfortable seat. Okay, just take a very quick moment to connect with your own breath. Take a few breaths in and out. All right. Slowly inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Two more. Okay, one more. Inhale, arms up. Hold your breath. Extra sip of air. This time, tilt your head back. So like you're looking to the sky. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. A little bit of sigh. Keep your eyes closed. Just shake your body. All right. And then slowly we'll transition to in and out through the mouth. So keep moving the body. Deep breath first. We'll start slow. Full breath in and out. One more. All right, we'll slowly speed things up. Let's go a little faster. Like you're drinking in air. Great, keep moving the body. Can we move things a little faster? 5 more. In the moment, we're gonna inhale and take a full breath in. Inhale, arms up. Hold your breath, extra sip of air. Tilt your head back. In 5 seconds, we're gonna take an exhale, and then I want you to hold your breath empty. So go ahead and exhale. Squeeze your body into a tight little ball. Hold your breath empty. Squeeze out all the air. Okay, we're gonna hold here for a few seconds. In a moment, not yet, in a moment, we're gonna inhale and take a few shakes. You can sigh it out, okay? Go ahead, inhale, and shake things out. Great, in and out through the mouth. Let's go again. a few more. And then in a moment, we're gonna take inhale. Keep breathing. In a moment, we're gonna take inhale and right away go into a big sound release where I want you to scream at the top of your lungs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, arms up, and scream. Shake your body. You can laugh if you want. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Really slow. Keep moving the body in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I want you to focus on just big sigh out. Use your voice. Imagine you just came home from a really long day and your body feels so good. If your mind is playing games on you, saying this is weird, that's okay, let that go. Just here for a few more seconds. For a few moments, can you enjoy this moment? In through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep moving the body. If you want, bring a light smile to your face. So much is carried in our voice. Beautiful. Now slow down your movement. Come into a stillness. Seated with your eyes closed. Just breathe in and out through your nose. And notice if the breath feels a little deeper. If you can, just keep that light smile on your face. Feeling your heartbeat and remembering that everything that's alive moves. And just sensing with these final moments how alive you feel in the body. Maybe a few % of aliveness being expanded. And just remember this feeling of being fully expressed as you slowly blink your eyes open and come back to this space.
How was that? Was that okay for everyone? Was everyone okay? Cool. And with that, we're going to close the panel. Last notes, comments, intentions, or wishes that you'd like to close our conversation with. And Sonia, just...
I say gratitude. Gratitude for being here, gratitude for you, for your intention. Valerie's intention for this was extremely loving and generous to bring about people that have touched you, to touch others, and you've touched so many people. So grateful for you for this opportunity and just energizing the space with gratitude.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, but the phrase that we just kind of came out of this panel, everything that's alive moves, just come to mind, and you've created this beautiful space to nurture not just emotional well-being, but also creativity, self-expression, growth, healing, and community, and so much more in such a light way. So yeah, I love that, and I hope everyone who's here, who gets to watch this, remember just to move. And Feve Studio is a great place.
Thanks for the plug. And Cindy?
I'm very grateful. You all say everything already. I'm very grateful, honored to be here, to meet everyone. So yeah, it's my beautiful place here. It's my home now.
Aww.
You know, from Hillwood Road to here. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
To have my community here. And I will stay here for quite a bit if you'll allow me to.
Please stay. Please don't leave ever. So I'd like to take this opportunity to open the conversation to all of you who've, taken your time and decided and prioritized being here. So is there any questions or comments you'd like to ask our beautiful panelists? Yes, Phoebe.
I actually have a question to Sonia. So if it's like I have some allergies,
I knew that would be helpful.
yeah, that's because I've always been thinking like, oh, I got these symptoms like here and there. never know what it actually means. So I actually got like some serious allergies on my left hand, but not my right. So like maybe a little bit on the right, but it's like mainly the left. So I'm just curious if it's stress related, or is there any particular area in my that's related in my life that's
Yeah.
due to that?
Which part of the hand?
So mainly it's like the third and fourth finger, and also the palm as well.
Okay. So the third finger is generally about balance. Yeah. The fourth finger is about relationship, and this would be relationship with self. So there's something that's not balanced. There's something that your relationship with yourself looking inwards, and the left is more to do with giving. So it probably sounds like you are a giver to other people. And inviting you to create a balance of that by spending more time to build your relationship with yourself.
Yeah,
Wow.
that makes sense.
Great question.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Another question, perhaps specifically. I'm Karen, I'm mother of two, and when we talk a lot about movement, wellness, and when I think about it, as adults, we go to a lot of classes for wellness mainly, but when it comes to kids, it's all about performance. Schedule, if my kids go for one day, it's not enough. We have Zoom for 3 days as an example. How do you help kids set a healthy boundary with their parent?
Oh, that's a great question.
You mean it's a busy schedule for the kids to go to school and for activity and all that?
Kids coming to dance, in your dance class, for
Yeah.
example. I trust that there will be a number of parents, maybe not all of them, having expectations on kids to excel, to perform. I think it's more about performance than wellness for the kids. But how do we help kids set their own healthy boundaries with their parents?
To be honest, for the kids to come here, I do, like for example, I shouldn't ask parents to expect anything for the kids, from the kids. You know, they're here to learn. They're here to learn, be consistent. And performance, you mean like performing, competition and things like that, or just their...
In exams.
Getting certificates, getting accolades for the
That's
school.
that's different parenting, okay? For example, some parents, they might say, okay, you go for ballet class, you need to aim for distinction, this and that, and this and that, performance, competition, blah, 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 right? So I look at more into a journey for the kids. You know, you come for class, you learn, because you don't learn in a short period of time. It's long, it's very long. You have to be consistent. Yeah, so for parents and children, I think parents should encourage them, just go for class to enjoy ballet, learn the journey of ballet. Shouldn't put pressure on them. Even the teacher does. I don't put pressure on the kids, but of course, we would like to see result. But, you know, during examination, the examiner will look at individual ability. You know, like for example, I look at your child, you just dance according to your ability, your best. Yeah. So I should encourage parents maybe to try dance with them too. Come and join the class. Come and join the class. You feel it's not easy, but encouragement. You need to encourage students, encourage your child to try their best, not to push them. So when you push them, they have no more interest. You know, they have that little thing behind their head. I say, I'm not good enough. You know, when I do exam, I get married. I'm not getting distinction. I go for competition. I don't win. It's not about winning. It's about growing. You know, the growth. They have to learn step by step.
What if a kid comes to you, Miss Cindy, my parents want me to reach this certain level of exam or score, but I maybe have different ideas for my dance journey. What can I say to my parents? How would you guide them?
Well, this one, even I have to talk to the parents too, I think, you know, but it shouldn't push your child to do what they don't want to do. You know, it's their interest. If their interest is in dance as a hobby, just let it be. They might have other career, you know, they want to do something else. But if it's a hobby, let it be a hobby. If it's a career, you help them. You know, it's two different things. Yeah. Not everybody can be a professional dancer, you know?
Amen.
It's very inclusive, you know, everyone should dance. Everybody can dance. You know, movement is for everyone. You know, we started with a program, you know, with the visual impairment adults. So I thought I couldn't teach them, and they thought they can't do a swan leg. You were there in the workshop.
So beautiful.
So literally, they can't see, right? Even when I try to create this program, even I try to close my eyes and try to balance, I try to jump, I couldn't balance. Can you imagine them? So yeah, that's what I say, encouragement. Enjoy. The joy of movement is very important. You shouldn't think like, oh, strict. No, you shouldn't push them. You should say, oh, how is it? Why don't you show mommy how to do it? You know, so that sort of sharing is very good. You know, it's pointing, show me your feet. Kathy. Oh, I still have it. I think you should do it with your child together. So ask them, what have you done in ballet class today? So let them share with you. You do it together with them. On Sunday, I have class now, 11 o'clock.
Sunday, 11 a.m. adult ballet with Miss Cindy. Plug.
No, I make a new one, Mommy and Me.
Mommy and
You are my first.
Any last question? Yeah, Kathy. Yes.
Sometimes I feel like when people run into problems, or like anybody in general, like the first thing they'll think about, or people might encourage them, like, oh, why don't you go see like a psychiatrist? And a lot of people, not saying you're a psychiatrist, but what I'm saying is immediately they'll think, okay, you should go see a psychiatrist or something, you know, something you might want to work on yourself. But I think a lot of times with what you do, it's very new. So how do people learn about what is it that you do and then realize, oh, maybe that's what I would like to understand, or maybe that can help me, right? Because I think a lot of people want to help themselves. They don't know which meeting to go to. And so I'm curious to know like how people learn about you, or what is it that you do, because even for myself, it doesn't mean that you've discovered. So, and then how do they feel comfortable and feel like, oh, okay, it's actually helping me? Because I think a lot of people, or maybe it's a mentality in Hong Kong, they need immediate results. Right?
Yes.
Right? And I think what you do is you take people on a journey, and it takes time. And then they will soon realize that it's actually helping them. But it takes a little bit longer than, like, you know, just going to a doctor and getting some medicine, for example. Right? I would like to learn that.
Yeah, like how people get to know about me, and also what's the second part of your
And
question?
how is it that they feel comfortable or confident that, for example, you can help them in some ways with the other? Because I think it's not like just I have a cold, I'm going to go get some medicine, immediately I see a result. It takes time, right? So people need to gain confidence in what is it that you do with them, for them to want to come back and continue the journey.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, the first part is I've been very blessed. I think most of my clients have been referred because it is quite niche and new. So people are like, what is it? But then usually it's like, oh, my friend had this session with you and it was really, and I also host group circles. So in person, it's a little bit less daunting. We do breath play, like what we did, but we also do tapping. We do like partner exercises. So it's like a good entry point. People would come to my circles and then book in sections later. And to the second part, yes, you're absolutely right. It's not a quick fix. And in the beginning of just my like solopreneur time, it was quite discouraging because some people are like, oh, okay, no, I just wanted you to tell me what's wrong with me, and I just wanted you to, you know. But now I'm actually very happy about it because I attract mostly, I think only like very self-resourced people who are very, very wise, and they really just need someone to kind of be their blind spot mirror. And I would say what keeps them coming back is not that, oh my God, you know, she fixed me, but it's always, she taught me so much about who I am, and they feel very self-resourced. I think the best thing that I've heard my clients say is like, I don't need you anymore. And I think, yeah, that is kind of what keeps people coming, because it's like, you don't want to always need a coach with you. You want to be able to learn the tools and move on with your life. And I think that's kind of what gives them that joy to work with in this niche space. Does that answer your question?
Casey hosts beautiful women's and now mixed circles.
Yeah, mixed circles.
Casey's circles are amazing. This is my rooftop and I'm screaming, please. It's like so beautiful and so transformational and so freeing, because you're allowed to just be ugly and accepted. Really, I think that's a beautiful.
It's really
space.
special.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shall we wrap? Thank you for sitting for so long. We really overran. I feel like I could have sat here for another hour. But thank you so much again for joining us. And we will now take a group photo and then set up for dance class.
And thank you
for
Val,
hosting.
Thank you for hosting this so beautifully.